Hi there everybody, how's it going? Of course, my name is Nightshade, and this is going to be an IvD casted replay, of course. I am now a new member of IvD Gaming, and I suppose you all know what, every once in a blue moon, we should actually get around to casting our players' games. And of course, from our junior team, I don't like to call it pro or amateur, but we have our senior and our junior team down in the bottom right-hand corner on a map that we generally don't see all that often, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be IvD Gaming's Pickles. And Mike Johnson is his real name. If you guys want to check him out, check us out at ivdgaming.com, and you can get a lot of good information from him there. And his opponent on the other side of the coin, I actually think he's trying to BM him here, but anyway, let's see where this is going. His opponent is going to be Probell over up in the top right-hand corner. Now, this is Red City, a map we've not seen in the pool for quite some time. I think he's just trying to make It's Dine. Actually, and it's going to be a mirror. It's Dine versus Pickles, I think. I'm not sure. No, it's going to be Probell. I think there's a bit of a chat going, maybe some coaching, whatever the case may be. Actually, let's just take a quick look and see how many people are actually watching this game. Actually, there's a bunch. So it's got Yogi Time Colors. I think it's a training matchup here. So we are going to get a bit of observer chat here a little bit through as the game goes on, so don't you worry about that. We will be seeing how Pickles is going to handle this. Of course, Pickles opting to go, of course, with the barracks first. Does he decide to go with gas next? That's the big question. Or is he going to actually go, yes it is, there's the gas. And the metagame back then was a little bit different than it is now. Of course, Reaper expands. Still pretty, well, they're very common now, but back then, a little bit different. Some people would opt to go with different openers here. And you can see just up and down does I am Probell's Supply Depot go, and I'm sure that that's going to get really tiring very soon, but nonetheless. Was that gas first? Yeah, I think that was actually a gas first, or Reaper, sorry, gas first, and then barracks. We'll see in just a second if that's going to be. I think, yeah, we're going to have 100 gas out of this puppy, or it was very close to after, so either or, it's going to be really close. We can expect to see a factory actually out of Probell fairly soon. There is it indeed. Okay, so it is factory. So 1-1-1 build going down here. Of course, we do have a reactor going down. We can expect to see a tech lab after that fairly soon. TvT is awfully good matchup as this is going to go down, and I'm actually casting this live on stream as well, so hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Of course, this is being locally recorded. It'll get uploaded to YouTube. So you folks on YouTube, we can show you much love, and honestly, I can't see of any reason why not. YouTube's such a great medium to get you guys lots of great StarCraft play, and IvD Gaming does everything in its powers to try and enhance the community, and that's why I am doing our junior team games, because they're just a lot of fun and get additional players out. Now, Probell, I'm sure you guys are wondering, is this I Am Incredible Miracles Probell? It is a team called Incredible Miracle on the, or at least a clan on the North American server, but I do not actually believe it is Incredible Miracle as in the team from Korea. So that thing's going to be switching up a little bit here. Of course, SCV here by Pickles getting a really good scout here, seeing the gas, seeing the reactor factory. Of course, Hellions are on the way here, and a starport is also going down, so we can expect to see some Banshee harass or something along those lines fairly soon. And Pickles is going to loiter. He's not even going to like get on out of here, and it's really up to Probell to determine how is he going to handle this, because well, okay, now that he sees the SCV, finally decides to destroy it, despite the fact that it's gotten a really good scout out of the base of Probell. Pickles, on the other hand, he's being kind of pickly. What we do have, of course, is the same exact build, a little bit delayed, of course. He's not going for the reactor and factory. He's going to go opt for the Widow Mines. I don't know if that was caught visually. The scan literally ended just as that popped on out, so I don't know if that was caught in the scan. Whether or not the view of Probell was covering when that Widow Mine came out, because now Banshees are also on the way. Widow Mine's a pretty good unit. Throwing down on the ramp is actually a pretty good choice, because you can always wall up the supply depot, and as the unit's going up, you're going to at least get yourself one good kill. Pickles doing the wise thing, though. When ahead, get more ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, going to throw down a command center and get everything going there as well. Of course, Marines are queuing up out front, up close and personal, anything that might come on up here. And but Pickles taking it easy. He wants to just get a couple more minutes, get his CC up and running, and once that's up and going, he's going to be able to snowball his macro really well. But what he has to contend with, of course, and it has been scouted, he's going to have to contend with the fact that Probell is doing a 1-1-1 build, but Probell is not expanding out. He's actually opting to spend his economy on additional units, and he's going to have a couple of Widow Mines, although his macro is at a complete standstill. If we see your production, I don't know what the heck is going on. Maybe his keyboard got unclipped or his computer or something, but Probell, there we go. Probell now doing stuff. I think maybe he's just waiting to get some additional economy. No, I stand corrected. But a Banshee is going to show up, and Pickles feeling like, you know what? What's better than killing stuff? That's called killing SCVs. And the SCV is not getting pulled here, however. Marines are coming on over. They're getting choked on up here in this little bit of a narrow gap here. And one Widow Mine is going to burrow. Scan is going to go down, but this Banshee is just staying just outside of the range here. As I'm sure you guys know, you have actually an engagement time for the Widow Mines to go. If you're wondering, Widow Mines, I think, that's have a 6 range to engage, so do Banshees. But more importantly, Banshees can go in, get a shot off, and then back on out, and then reset that timer. Because there is an engagement timer on those Widow Mines. And finally, Probell is going to have to pull his workers off the mineral line because there's just nothing to deal with it. There is a Viking on the way, but the Banshee is getting the work done. And is there even a scan available? There is finally a scan available. One Marine does ultimately go down as a result, and another SCV getting killed off. Pickles absolutely going to town, trying to kill off as much as humanly possible. There was an engagement down here. Some workers were killed. I did not catch it. I do apologize. Pickles did mop it up. I'll try and rewind that a little bit later on when I get a free moment. Because as we can see, actually, there's been a counter here. Probell is able to acquire 10 worker kills, but so has Pickles. Pickles has got himself 11 worker kills. So both players pretty much even as it sits right now. We'll get back to that in just a minute, guys and girls, don't you worry. And that was around the... Alright, so we'll just check that around the 9-minute mark or so. Probell is going to finally expand on out, of course. This is also... Yeah, there was definitely an engagement here. I think a Banshee or at least a Hellion came down. Command Center's not quite finished here, of course. However, so Probell's got a bit of himself a bit of an edge here, and Pickles is going to have a hard time taking care of both these Marines as long as there is a medevac in the skies. Viking is going to show up as well here and keep everything going. There's a Widow Mine in the back lines here in case a Banshee decided to make a no-knock visit. But Probell looking pretty good all in all. Pickles, on the other hand, now finally getting this CC up and running. And I'm sure it was just canceled because of a Banshee or, oh, again, like because of that counter. Not able to get that kill, so don't you worry, we'll get back to that a little bit later. But he's opting to go with a mech build, which I actually do like. But mech TvT has got its risks. It has its rewards, but it also has its risks. He's going for a fast-paced mech build, like a lot of Hellions, which is what it looks like he's doing right now. He's going to be in good, fine form, and I don't know why he's not actually trying to get up the ramp here. He is going to head on up, and actually, Probell opening the doors just for a second there, but not able to capitalize. And of course, Hellions, more and more Hellions are going to show up here. But there's no anti-ground units to stop this from even occurring. And this CC is going to continue to get burned and burned and burned in. It's going to take a long time, but a siege tank is going to show on up. But it's not going to be enough to really dissuade this from even occurring. And of course, a Marine is going to take a shell or two. And no, another one is not going to. That is very unfortunate. I love watching the little body parts explode. But, yeah, as you can see, Hellions parked out front. This is going to be a really good thing that's going to stop Probell from being able to really saturate this, and he's going to have to contend with that, unfortunately. And Pickles just playing this very, very well, going for a lot of Hellions. And if you can get actually one good drive-by, it's going to be the drive-by of a day. But he's got to be careful. Widow Mine getting a lot of shots off and splash damage in this particular version. Back in August, this game was played is a lot more potent than it is now, where it's been kind of belittled a little bit. There's that gradual radius thing that has been implemented on the Widow Mine, but as we do see, of course, these Hellions, again, prohibiting Probell from being able to really work away on this natural. And this is going to be driving Probell absolutely nuts because of the fact that, as we can see, Pickles is doing, well, pickly things. He's up at 38 workers as opposed to Probell's 17. That's it, just 17. I'm actually surprised he's not making additional workers for whatever reason or another. The funny part is I think he's actually a Masters League player, and so he should know to make workers. There we go, he's making a couple more. And also Barracks going down. I don't know if Probell's playing at his best form, perhaps maybe not. But either way, he's having a really hard time with this continuous harass by Pickles. And you can see actually Pickles Has himself a Raven, a couple of siege tanks, good defensive line here. Additional units are going to show back on up, and he's going to actually just float on over and grab himself another factory as well, so that he can have tanks. And this starport's just going to throw down a reactor, you know, go for that Viking action. Doesn't need another Raven. He's going to feel pretty good about that. I mean, one Raven's all you need, or a couple of them even. You can, of course, go Mass Raven's pretty good unit, to be perfectly honest with you. But you do require a lot of gas in order to be able to make them. So, what that boils down to is if you want to do tanks and you want to do a lot of Hellions and a lot of gas-heavy units, well, you're going to have a hard time affording to do a lot of Ravens because they are pricey. If memory serves me right, they're 200 gas a piece. So, but what we do see, of course, is armory going down, supply depots as well. Just trying to make sure that he's always ahead of his supply gap. As you can see, 121 over 96. So he's going to be in really good shape. Probell, on the other hand, 73 over 67. So he's really starting to fall behind here. And this is as a result of the fact that Pickles has been able to really deny mining time here. And you can see the second this thing lands, boom, and out come 4 mules. And I expect we can see a couple more in just a couple of moments. But the forces of Probell have decided to go out and do some damage. He's got a good number of Marines here, as well as some tanks, as well as some Vikings as well. He's going to get a lot of free shots off onto these Vikings, or on the Ravens, but the auto turrets are going to kill off that Viking very, very quickly indeed. And pretty good play here, keeping those Ravens alive. Widow Mines are going to go off here for Probell, catching at least 1 or 2 units here. And again, siege tank versus siege tank. He who owns the sky is going to be in much better shape. Hunter Seeker missile does go down. Is it going to be enough to get out of here? But at least the siege tank is able to clear the zone. Does not kill the siege tank. But as you can see, it's going to be a really tricky situation here. As vision as being lent, he sees that there's only 3 siege tanks and he can take it. Widowmine does get a good shot off here. Probell looking really strong here, as Pickles, I think, might have hyperextended himself a little bit here, as the Marines are going to start working away onto the siege tanks of Pickles. Pickles in a lot of trouble. He's just got these 2 siege tanks here holding the lines, and oh my gosh, he's actually able to hold, and one of them ultimately is going to fall. It is 1 siege tank. It is the lone line of defense that is going to continue to shell away. Hellions are going to show on up to try and help and get on in there, of course. Medevac is going to fly over top of Widow Mine. It's going to take a big shot and eat all of the health except for 11 of it. Siege Tank is going to try to kill off some SCVs. They've been pulled off the line to try and help on out as well. And this is going to be a really rough situation, a very hard thing for Pickles to be able to take care of. He's almost lost everything he's got. He, in fact, actually has a Siege Tank sieging it up front and personal. However, Pickles is going to show up with Hellions and Siege Tanks to help hold this atop of the ramp here. And as you can see, again, trying to shut down the siege tank here from Probell. Probell with a lot of aggression here, streaming additional units across the map here to try and continue the aggression up. But Pickles has completely shut it down, and the attack by Probell has been totally neutered. And that is where we're sitting right now. He's got 4 Marines and a siege tank. Additionally, streaming down the ramp, but Pickles looking very, very strong as he's got Vikings, Hellions, SCVs, tanks, the whole 9 yards streaming their way across the map. And Pickles is going to be doing a really good job of taking it to Probell. Probell's he's just in a lot of trouble here. He's just got to find a way to get back into this game. Throwing additional barracks is certainly one way he can do that, but he's got to hold, at least for the time being, as the tanks of Pickles are going to siege on the low ground here. Vikings are going to hold the skies here, along with a couple of SCVs doing repairs duties, keeping these units alive. Again, Widow Mines are going to help on out, bringing on over to help take care of any units that might be able to infiltrate the lines of those siege tanks. But again, Vikings providing that high ground vision here. Unfortunately, 1 unit actually getting killed off here. But Pickles with pretty good control, trying to keep all these units on the low ground. And it's going to be a little bit of Viking on Viking action here. One of them ultimately does fall down, and another one is going to continue to work away as the Marines are going to continue to kite on over. But during this entire engagement, actually, Probell has been able to expand on over on the left-hand side here, calling down a mule, keeping his economy going, desperately trying to do so. But Pickles has a huge economic lead. He's at 71 workers. He's got his 3rd base up and running. His macros going absolutely to town. He's streaming additional units across the map here, as we can see. Hellions off in position to the right-hand side. They want to engage. Again, another tank trying to head its way on up here, but it's getting a little bit tricky. SCVs have pulled off the lines here to try and do some damage. Marines are going to push down as well and try to get up close and personal. Widow Mine is going to take care of those very quickly indeed. And even with the support of this missile turrets, nothing is going to be able to attack that way. And of course, Hellions are going to go on up close and personal, soaking up a lot of damage here, facilitating Pickles being able to fire on up that ramp with his siege tanks, and as he moves on into that natural base, Probell in a lot of trouble as Pickles looking so strong, and indeed workers have been pulled off the line from everywhere except for the mules, and they're going to try to help on out, but with Hellions with blue flame and siege tanks working away, that's going to force a GG, and Pickles very courteously giving a GG back, and that will do it. IvD Gaming's Pickles is victorious.